Hey, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baharakhakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have taught us this word and teach us this word today. And I want to give a salutation unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is the brother Yatazak Bar with the GMS Nebraska camp. This is GMS Endeavor. And in this lesson, what I want to get into is, going over the LA riots, what's going on in LA right now. Just doing a quick video based off of it and how it links to the scriptures prophetically, and just in advance, Salakia for, the noise that you hear in the background with the dogs barking, you know, um, Baba Gashab, bear with me, but getting into it, what Trump has been doing ever since he's come into presidency is that, he's been going after what he claims he's going after illegal immigrants, but when you get into who has been deported under Trump's presidency is more than just illegal immigrants. It's more than just immigrants that have been involved in criminal activity. Trump is, under his presidency, there's been, immigrants that are here legally that have been deported, that are being snatched up. You have immigrants that are here under, I forget what the actual term is or what it is, but basically they're here under a work order, or basically, they have a green card that allows them to work here in the US, yet they are being deported. You have, those of the Northern Kingdom who aren't even going through the due process of, being checked out on if they're supposed to be here, and they're being snatched up and deported. And these different things are, with the mass deportations that ICE has been doing, has led to, these riots in LA, and let's read this second Ezra chapter 15 verse 16, where it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." And when we get into that word sedition and the etymology, it's a rebellion, an uprising, a revolt, a factitious commotion in the state, LA right now with these riots. We see that Trump has sent out the National Guard. He sent out Marines to try to quell the riots, and the civil unrest that's going on in LA right now. Now, majority of the riots are, quote unquote peaceful. They're setting cars on fire, looting, doing all types of these different things, but it's not violent to where you have people fighting against authorities or anything like that, to where, there's war going on or nothing like that. It's not on that level. But with the state of unrest that we see in LA, we see that the Lord is stirring up the spirit, of the people here in this country to be in the spirit to rise up against what is being done, with the things that Trump is doing, especially in Jake, because that's who Trump is going after. And this ain't just Issachar that Trump is going after. He's going after Manasseh. He's going after, Asher, in any of the Northern Kingdom. If you look like somebody that is supposed to be gone after, then they're snatching you up. And keep in mind, this isn't just going on in LA. This is going on, countrywide. You know, um, here in Omaha, they're coming to Omaha soon, and going through different workplaces to see if there's anybody that's here that's not supposed to be here. They're going state by state and doing sweeps. But it's just gotten these riots have just gotten big in LA because that is the main place of the biggest concentration of where it's happened. You have a lot of the Northern Kingdom that are there in LA, and that's where these riots stemmed from. But this is in line with this precept here about the sedition among men. It's going to get to a greater level in regards to this prophecy, that we're going to see a higher level of sedition among men, a higher level of civilians fighting against the powers that be. But what we see happening right now is in line with this prophecy, and it's going to get to a greater level in time. But this is beautiful to see, because this is very much so what the scriptures speak about, and it's, off the hills of who it speaks about in Isaiah chapter 19. Let's read it. Isaiah chapter 19 verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Now, America is the modern day Egypt. Just like in Egypt, the nation of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today, the nation of Israel went into captivity and bondage in ancient Egypt. Well, they came into captivity and bondage here in this modern day Egypt. And so it says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of cruel Lord. That cruel Lord is speaking about Trump. Trump is being a cruel Lord. Trump is doing whatever he wants to. He's claiming that he's going after, criminals. He's going after quote unquote illegal immigrants, but Trump is ICE under Trump's presidency is going crazy on the Northern Kingdom. Talking about sending them. He's not even sending them back to Mexico. He's talking about sending them to Guantanamo Bay. Sending them to prisons and things of the sort. And when you get into the cases, there are people who has been sent away to go to these prisons that have been wrongfully convicted. And so and we have to keep in mind what Trump is not only this is going to be bigger than just Trump going after the Northern Kingdom. Trump wants to go after the Southern Kingdom as well. He's already going after Haitians, which is the tribe of Levi, but Trump eventually wants to go after Americans who have been born and raised here. I'm talking about Southern Kingdom, where you have those of the Southern Kingdom who are criminals. Trump is gonna go after them and deport them, send them all to Guantanamo Bay. And that's showing the actions of what that cruel Lord that the scriptures speak about. He's really coming down heavy upon the nation of Israel. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts. And even outside of all these, everything with the immigrants and the deportations, even how many jobs that Trump has been cutting, and making life hard for the inhabitants of this land, but staying in line with the topic of the deportations and everything, and how Trump is coming after the nation of Israel. This is in line with what prophecy? Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And what we're speaking about here, Jacob's trouble. Jacob being Israel. We have to keep in mind that all of the nation of Israel is included within Jacob's trouble. And this is it's a small aspect of what the Northern Kingdom has to go through when it comes to Jacob's trouble. This is very well in line with this prophecy of you have a lot of Northern Kingdom being wrongfully convicted, having to worry about if they are going to be the ones snatched up. They're being targeted in these times, because Trump is coming after Jake, and this prophecy is going to really heighten to a higher level in time. But like I mentioned with what we spoke about in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, what is happening in the country right now, is in line with this prophecy as well. Because Trump ain't going after other heathen nations. He's not going after heathen such as East Indians and things of the sort. He's not going after nobody that look like Edomites. No, he's going after the Northern Kingdom, and eventually he wants to come after the Southern Kingdom as well. So Lord willing, these prophecies continue to ramp up at a higher level. Lord willing, these riots continue to heighten, and we see more unrest, more things off the heels of what Trump is doing. Lord willing, the spirit that Trump is in to do these different actions heightens. Hey, we see that he sent the National Guard and the Marines, but how he sent them is under what I believe is called Title 10, to where the power that they have right now is where they can't do arrests to citizens or anything like that. They're basically sent to protect ICE, to protect government buildings. But Trump has said that he's willing to enact the Insurrection Act, which basically allows Trump to send the military to arrest citizens. He's allowed to send the military to have more force and more power, and if these riots continue to ramp up, and if tensions continue to swell, then Trump is going to enact that Insurrection Act. And Second Ezra 15 is really, we're going to see more of it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to get into, in this lesson. Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahar Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles, elders of GMS, and a salutation unto the elect. Shalom.